Hello and welcome to the Scarf Bergara Wore match review, a Stockport County podcast for county fans by county fans. I'm Jimmy Harmer, and on this evening's podcast, we will be chatting about another frustrating 1-1 home draw, this time against a Reading team that didn't really offer much across the 90 minutes. This episode, we will be dissecting the game, and I want to include a brief chat on whether the Cheadle end has been cursed over the off-season, because we've only scored one flaming goal in that end, and that was in the first game of the season against Bolton. So Summit is not right. And if anyone speaks to Andy of podcast fame, he does not believe that we play better when we shoot towards the Cheadle end second half, and he's been proved right. And he's not really right that often, so it's starting to wind me up a little bit. So come on, boys, can we start scoring some goals in the Cheadle end, please? Anyways, let's get started. And Dan, if you can take us, Dan Culverwell, if you can take us through the team, that'd be brilliant. I'm joined by Dan Culverwell, Steve Bardsley, and Dan Johnson for this episode. So let's do it, guys.
Yeah, no worries. So yeah, I think most people have got 11 out of 11 on FanHub for this one. The only change was obviously Onyango came back into the team from that Rotherham game. O'Keefe came out. So it was Ben in goal, a back three, which I think is, for me, is probably the best back three we've got at the moment, of Alulu, Hills and Pye. Onyango and Osborne are your wing backs. Bailey and Norwood, your midfielders. Diamond in the hole with Anderson and Wootton up front.
Yeah, no real surprise there, Steve. I don't think, with Onyango coming back. He's certainly played well in that right wing back role in the previous games that he's played. Obviously, he missed the last one. That was the Rotherham away game through injury. How did you see that starting lineup?
Yeah, I mean, I got 11 out of 11 on that one. I kind of thought it was kind of, would he play O'Keefe? Would he play Onyango? Would he play Fevs after his performance last week? But he likes Onyango, doesn't he? And he's been looking good when he's been playing, so no real surprises there.
For my final I was a little hopeful he'd play 4 at the back, so I ended up getting 9 out of 11.
You know what? We keep on saying I'd like him to play 4 at the back, and I keep on thinking, midfield 3 would be great. 3 up top, that would be brilliant. But Dave just does not fancy it for
he's not changing
reason.
it now, is he?
He's not changing it.
Yeah, I've given up. I was thinking the same. I thought I've been wanting to see 4 at the back, but I've settled now. My FanHub just has 3 at the back or 5 at the back every game now. Because
you said, Steve, that Ethan Pye would be able to deputise in as a left back very, very easily.
Yeah.
And I think Osborne has been playing well out of position. No complaints from me. The fact that he is playing that left wing back role, and certainly in the first half, I thought Dan Culverwell that we had a lot of control in that first half, and we were able to push our wing backs really high up the pitch. It became 3 at the back, 4 across midfield, and then we had sort of 3 up front with Diamond, Wootton, and Benno. It looked good, didn't it, Dan Culverwell?
Yeah, I mean, it looked like we had an extra man on the pitch, to be honest. We passed the ball out nicely. Onyango was playing in that final third for a lot of the game, I thought, picking up some real good areas. And yeah, it looked like the dawn of a new beginning. The season started there at that point in that first half, and we thought, right, now this is the time we kick on, and our season starts that day. But hey, how it didn't.
Only got really 2 complaints. No, one of them is that I didn't see the goal because I went down for it to have a piss, so I was a bit angry about that. But my other complaint is that we didn't score more, because Reading offered absolutely nothing in that first half, and I feel like we should have put the game to bed.
Yeah. It was definitely, like I say, we just started right though. We started on the front foot. We started everything that Dave Chandler says that we were. We were front foot. We're playing it. We'll obviously talk the difference between the first half and the second half, but you had Norwood picking up the ball on the halfway line and dictating the play. And it was just different quality, I thought, the first half. Like you say, we'll go on to obviously the chances, but yeah, we rued our chances, should we say.
I mean, Steve, you're sponsoring Ethan Pye this season.
Yeah.
So that's great for you. Ethan has been doing brilliantly defensively, but if we're going to be I'm going to be super critical. He's had 2 or 3 chances now to score a header, and again after sort of 3-4 minutes, he missed his chance, didn't he?
Yeah, he like you say, last few games, it's been the same story, hasn't it? He's missed a few good chances, but again, it'll come, won't it? I mean, he's getting in the right positions, just not getting them on target. But the other guy you want to watch is, if you notice how many times Aloru gets in the box and then for corners and gets his head to it or kick, foot to it, he's going to start scoring a lot of goals soon, I think. Or not a lot, but a few goals in terms of defenders' terms. But yeah, I think both of them, they get into these chances, they're creating the space, but just not hitting the target, and that'll change. That'll change.
Yeah. I mean, I think the fact that we got Onyango in the box now as well. Obviously, he set up Kyle Wotton's goal with a decent sort of header back across to him, and obviously Kyle poked the ball in. Another goal in the Cheadle end. Well, not in the Cheadle end, the Railway end, but me sat in the Cheadle end. I didn't even know if it had gone in again. I think we did that in the last game. It was against Cardiff, I think. Another goal. Is that gone in? Is it not? Pardon?
I was in the main stand. I didn't know it had gone in. Nobody seemed to know it had gone in.
It was more. I think we're all waiting for the offside flag to go up. Was the sort of like the lull of it? There was sort of like everyone's looking for the offside, which obviously it wasn't offside. It was a really sort of the looping header, sort of give him the time to sort of find that space. But yeah, it was, for me, it was just like, is he offside? Was it offside? It can't be offside. He's given it.
It's weird.
Yeah, so I mean, we were pretty on top there. I've spoken about the blue nipples on the momentum graph on the FOTMob website in the past. There were no blue nipples; they were blue mountains, I would say. Looking at this, we were absolutely massively on top in that first half, and the stats really bore that out. I mean, we had an XG of 1.22 to their 0.04. We had 9 shots to their 2, 3 of which were on target for us and one for them. Possession was pretty much even, 54 to 46, but we really limited them. I mean, looking at the shot map on FOTMob, they had their 2 shots were from like 30 yards out. It's absolutely bonkers. I don't want to say bazonkers. I'm talking about mountains and nipples here, aren't I? So absolutely bonkers. So why are we not scoring, Dan Johnson, when we're on top? If you can answer this question, maybe you should be Stockport County manager. I'm not saying that Dave should be sacked or anything, but he's probably out thinking this exact same thing. And if you can provide the answer, you might get a job in his backroom staff.
Well, if anybody at Stockport County is watching this, I've got an email. I think it's just one of those things where it's going to click, and you've just got to give them time to, properly settle in again, properly just start getting comfortable with chances given to them. It's one of those that you can't answer, Jimmy, and it's just stuff that on the training ground we're going to have to grin and bear it, basically, I think.
Steve?
Yeah.
Job at County? Here's your chance.
Oh, yeah, I'd love a job there, but they're never going to employ me. But no,
you'd be too busy asking for people's photographs and autographs.
Yeah. It'll come. Again, like I said before, you're getting in the positions, they're just not taking the chances. And, another day, you look at a Cardiff game a few weeks ago, Benno could have had 3 in the first half, and he weren't far off. And it'll come. It's just like, and then we're going to smash a team, aren't we? We're going to absolutely smash a team soon. And then maybe that'll give them the confidence then to kick on and just find the target. But at the moment, it's the finishing. It's kind of a mix, a little bit of a mix of wayward finishing and great saves as well. I'm sure we'll come on to the second half later, and there was a few good chances there, what we'll talk about. But yeah, it'll come. I'm sure it will come.
Yeah, the XG stat, it's just indicative of how much we are creating and the quality of chances we are creating. And the fact that we've got, I think it was 2.25 XG for the whole match, scored 1. it just means that we've got the potential to go and absolutely batter teams. We're just not at the minute. And it's a lot better of a problem to have to not score your XG than it is to outscore the XG, I think. Because then at least if you're doing poorly, you know that you've got something in the tank, you've got something to go and then work on. That's very tangible to go and start winning matches. So I'm not too concerned.
Does feel like though that if we get 2 goals early in a game, we're going to go out and win 4-5-0. I thought Reading was that game, to be honest. I thought they're there for the taking. I thought, like you say, we get a couple of early goals. I thought, like you say, we would absolutely go and storm them. Not to be, unfortunately, but yeah, I'd say it's the hard part. I thought is that, it's easy when it's a player not performing. It's easy to criticise that one player and say that's what the change needs to be. But individually, I don't think anybody really had a bad game on Saturday. Team, like you say, we know they could do better in the team, and obviously, like we said before, we'll critique what we see, but Dave Chandler will have another level of critique that he's not happy with. And if you've seen his post-match interview, he's already pulled apart the Reading goal and seeing things that I never saw on it. So obviously, he's got a higher level, and rightly so. But yeah, it's just a hard one because, like I say, it's just something's just not clicking. And like I say, when it comes in, I think someone's going to get a bit of a whooping.
I mean, for me, the positives in that first half, okay, Norwood was finding some great passes. Bailey was supporting him super well. The back three were handling everything that Reading could throw at them. I thought Hills was like magnificent. Sort of, he kept on covering across. So when Pye was pulled maybe into more a fullback position, Hills was there to basically sort of Marshall Marriott completely out of the game, and we know how dangerous he can be, even if he's a little bit old now. Maybe Aloha was great as well, and this is the strange thing for me, that we seem to play well with that back three, but we're still conceding goals. And let's face it, you're going to concede goals in football, especially when you're playing against teams that have dangerous players. And Dave did allude to this in his post-match. What we've got to be doing, and we've already said this, we've got to be scoring more. You can't be scoring a single goal and just relying on winning games 1-0. We're not Arsenal with the Tony Adams back four, are we? Let's face it. Whilst they're doing well, they're still pretty young. Obviously, Aloha was the oldest at 25. So it's something that they must be working on. It's whether we now start looking at maybe rotating that front line a little bit. He's given Benno 3 games. Okay, I know he's young. He needs games. And I was talking to the guy I sit next to about this, and it's great. He's been given 3 games on the bounce. Jack's been, I think he started pretty much every game this season, but Jack's numbers aren't good enough for somebody who is supposed to be one of our leading attackers. He's only scored 2 goals and we're 10 games in. So maybe it is chance to see somebody else. I don't want to sort of labour too much on the first half, because I think a lot of the juicy stuff sort of comes in the second half, I think, because we need to talk about what's going wrong. And then also maybe a few sort of general questions as to what the squad is missing and stuff. Can we just play a short transition now, and then we'll shuffle into the second half, and then we'll sort of go from there. Hello and welcome back to the Scarf Bergara Wore match review podcast. We're reviewing the 1-1 draw versus Reading. Done the first half already, moving into the second. Dan Caldwell, did we make any subs in that?
Good question. I can't remember. I don't think we did we? No, it was.
I'll tell you, we didn't.
No, it was this. You had me wondering then. No, it was this. That was the problem, I believe, is that, and we'll talk about that. But yeah, the subs probably came too late in the game for us.
I mean, it's classic Dave Challoner, really, isn't it? Waiting for the other team to make their changes before making ours. I think because Reading started coming on us a lot more in that second half. There needed to be the changes just to get the fresh legs on there. Create a little bit more width, maybe have an extra man in the middle of the park, just try and shore it up a bit. So something had to change, because you obviously saw them go from having absolutely nothing in that first half to starting to control that match.
It does seem to be something that he's doing a lot now, Steve, doesn't it? That sort of waiting for the opposition to make their changes and then react.
Yeah, and it's a bit of a shift, isn't it, from last season? Last season, he seemed to be, I mean, I could be wrong, but I felt like he was on the front foot with subs last season. And, he'd come on at half time and make, 3 subs and that had changed the game. But I don't know. I agree he's kind of waiting for the opposition, but I don't think he needed to make any subs at half time. It was just how long he took to make the subs was the issue for me.
Yeah.
And it was crying out for Febs, in my opinion, just to, get down that wing and give him a lot of problems. And I don't think he came on to the 71st minute or something like that. It felt like it was into the 70s. And it just took too long.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. I remember looking up at the clock and thinking it's about 70-odd minutes, no subs have been on yet. This is
78 minutes it was, guys.
Was it?
So,
Wow.
Yeah, it was after they scored their goal.
And do you know Febs ended up with the most successful dribbles or something in the game, and he was only on for 12 minutes plus added time. So that's a good start.
Imagine
But do you find that last season, like you say, we used to play really bad in the first half, and then Challoner would change at half time and would go out second half and absolutely dominate teams, where this year it's obviously role reversal. We're starting off really well, and I think I saw a league table, if we games that were just played on the first half, we'd actually be top of the league on points and everything else if you just played the first half, the first 45 minutes. So yeah, it's just, I say, compared to last season, he just seemed to be holding off. Obviously, I thought Reading came out with the bit between their teeth, and obviously we knew that they were going to puff a little bit, but they had a few good chances. Then obviously that chance came to Jack Diamond. I thought at the time, I thought that was a save. I thought the goalkeeper got a finger to it. I know we didn't get a corner from it, and I've not seen a replay of it yet, but I thought goalkeeper got a save. But regardless,
he shouldn't be giving the keeper a chance to make a save. Like, that keeper was in no man's land, and Jack had so many opportunities. He could have, he should have dinked it over and kept it in the middle of the goal. Or if he goes round him, the keeper needs to decide, am I going to bring him down and get sent off and give a penalty away? For him to miss the target, a professional football player, to miss the target from there, I think is criminal. I really do.
He's got to hit the target from there, surely. Like, nobody around him apart from the goalkeeper coming to him. Ball was at a very nice height. Keeper had already committed to going down.
Can we say what a fantastic ball by Oldham Bailey as well?
Yeah, I was just going to say the same thing. What a pass! Amazing.
But yeah, just poor finishing on Jack Diamond's part, really. As you said, it sums up the 2 goals in 10 as one of our main attackers. You can kind of see that just with that one chance alone, can't you? So,
yeah. And it's been said before, hasn't it, Dan, that I think if you marry Jack's technical ability with the ability to finish and maybe make the right decision more often than not, he's not a League One player. He's a Championship level player. And I think that's where we have this problem with him. And I don't know whether, I mean, he's not young anymore, is he? He's what, 25, 26 now? Yeah. Does anybody know his age?
Nope. No, I think you're right, but I don't know.
Yeah.
We seem to have obviously this other issue at the moment where form we're so inconsistent and throughout the team. Players, they play themselves into form for 3 or 4 games and then they just disappear for 4 or 5 games. Apart from Wotton, I think Wotton's been a constant, leveler. He's not too high, not too low, but he's been a constant performer. You could argue with Norwood as well, even though at times I think from the standards that we set him, he dips below him a little bit, but he's a constant performer for the team. But there's just too many of them that just dip in and out of form too much, and I think that's what it's starting to sort of reflect on the actual team and the results that we're getting.
Do we think Norwood can play 90 minutes effectively, Steve? Because whilst he has been absolutely brilliant, I'm seeing a pattern where come 70 minutes, he's a lot more happy for himself to drop and to pick the ball up off the central defenders, and because he's dropping, it's enabling the opposition to maybe push up a little bit further because we haven't got that presence in midfield.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I don't really agree. I think he can perform for 90 minutes, and I think he does. I do think he gets kind of pushed back, but I don't think that's just his problem. I think that's the whole team. I think as a team we're getting pushed back, and that's where we're missing the likes of Callum Camps, Lewis Bate, players in there. Will Collar, if you want to look at last season, players in there that'll keep that ball in that final third of the pitch, on the edge of the area, keep pushing, keep driving. And I think we're just naturally getting pushed back. But I think it's just due to the fact we're bare bones still on the team. And we've got so many injuries. It's ridiculous, isn't it? And we talk about this year on year. And you just look at the players missing at the moment. It's a nightmare. And, Camps comes back for, what's he been on the bench for 2 games, and he's injured again.
Is he injured, Camps?
Yeah. I mean, I think he'll be back soon. But he was injured yesterday, wasn't he?
I don't know. I know he was missing, obviously, from the starting 11, and he weren't on the subs bench. But I didn't hear anything about why.
Yeah. So I was in the hospitality yesterday in 1883, and as you're aware, Charlie comes in before the game, and he said, like, he was talking about players coming back, and they said, and the bad news is we've lost 2 more players through injury, and he said it was Mothersill and Camps. I can't remember what he said was wrong, but I got the impression Camps was just a short-term injury, and he'll be back probably very soon. But he did speak about him being injured.
That's good knowledge, that, Steve.
On the losing the dropping back sort of thing, if Norwood drops in, then it kind of leaves Bailey isolated if he stays where he is, so he's forced to drop in with him, and that creates a whole big team problem.
You end up with when they drop back, you end up with the back 3 turning into a back 6 or 7 if you include Ben as well, because obviously the wing backs pull back. Norwood then drops back as well, so you end up basically virtually the whole team in our own half. Even Wootton ends up getting sucked into our own half as well, and you can tell. I mean, when was the last time in a second half that we've had less of the ball? 41% possession we had in that second half compared to Reading, and at home that sort of doesn't happen. We don't really allow teams to have more of the ball than us at any point of the game.
But does this come down to what we were saying at the beginning about this kind of rigid 3-5-2 or whatever it is? If we switched when we're struggling like that, if we switch to a 4 at the back, we can then pack out. You can go 4-3-3, and you can have the likes of Fevs down one wing, Mothersill or Diamond down the other, with 1 up front and 3 midfielders across the middle. Do we think he should be switching the formations more in games to kind of accommodate that?
I personally do, yeah, because if we have 3 in the middle and Norwood does his drops in, the 2 midfielders then can support each other in further up the pitch rather than one being isolated as Norwood's been dropped off, so it invites less pressure just in general.
So I'm going to do because Dave Chandler will be obviously watching or listening to this, and he'll be screaming at his radio going, my formations aren't rigid. He'll say there's formations out of possession, in possession. I don't think it's a formation issue as such. I think, like I say, it's just a case of having the ball in the right areas and finishing our chances. It's the marginal gains at the moment, isn't it? It's not. We're not talking about massive problems or we need to change 3 or 4 of the starting 11. And I won't be surprised if it's the same starting 11 all being fit that goes out against Huddersfield. It's absolute marginal gains. It's just literally, is it a confidence thing or is it a lack of quality? I don't know, but we're just so close to actually seeing a complete performance.
Well, before Jack's miss, there was a couple of half chances that were very unlucky not to score. I think Benno had one chance. I think it was from a corner and a bit of a snatch shot, but he hit it quick, and it was a cracking save. I think it was a save.
Straight at him, though, wasn't it? It was straight at him.
It was quick, though, very quick. It was only a half chance. But then there was the Wotton chance as well. He took on his left foot on the left-hand side of the goal. And I think the keeper was unsighted, and he still managed to save it.
Straight at him, though, again, Steve.
Yeah.
I'm going to play the devil's advocate. I mean, as I always do, I get into the ground sort of half an hour before kickoff. I watch the shooting practice, and Woods was absolutely deadly. Left foot, crossed the keeper. He must have done about 6 or 7 of them. Get to the match situation. He's in that position, hits it straight at the keeper. If he'd gone across him, you've got a chance of, I don't know who it was. Was it Lowe at that point? Or was it Benno who was sort of on the far post? Unmarked. So if the keeper had sort of just parried it out a little bit, it probably would have dropped to him. So that is like rule 101. I mean, I'm not calling Woods out because at the moment, that guy is irreplaceable to that team. And without him, we'd be nowhere near the playoffs. I keep on banging this drum, and I'm going to bang it again. Tanto's not been replaced. It's so obvious that we are lacking that pace up front, and that is what is absolutely crucifying us, because at the end of those games, when they're getting tired, we need somebody who is actually going to break their defensive line still and force them to defend deeper. And they're not. They haven't got anybody to be worried about. Nathan Lowe, he's come to us as a hot shot finisher, but he's got no pace, and that's not his fault. It's how he's made. He's more of a Wotton type of player, and Tanto's not been replaced for me. That's our biggest problem.
You sort of forget as well the amount of work that Tanto did for the press as well. Hurrying them up, running them down, that pace, closing the keeper down, forcing the error, winning the ball back in high positions, and like you say, that out ball as well. You didn't have to worry. You didn't have to look where Tanto was. You just had to put it into an area and he'd run onto it. So yeah, I completely agree. And that's not, when I've seen people moan about Dave Challoner's spent the money, Dave Challoner's this, it's not Dave Challoner that goes out and spend money. There's a team of people involved, from Simon Wilson all the way to Dave Challoner, that look at these players. It's not him that's gone out with a checkbook and bought players or sold players. It's a team effort behind us, the scenes, and we can't. The right offer came for Tanto, the right move came for him. It was not the wrong decision to sell him.
Yeah,
unfortunately, trying to find a like for like Tanto is just really, really difficult. I think people are now appreciating the effort and the skill and the attributes that Tanto actually brought to the team. Now he's gone, which is always going to be the same. It'll be the same when, if Wotton leaves, people moan about him. We've seen it before over the years he's been with us. But once he's left this club, I think we'll then really appreciate what he actually brought to the team. And it's the same with Tanto. But yeah, it's a.
But you say that about pace though. But we've got Fevs and we've got Mothersill.
I don't believe Fevs is that fast. I think he's quick over the sort of 3 or 4
Their
yards.
pace comes with how fast they can dribble at people, rather than trying to, run onto one over the top. Because they're,
I mean, Mothersill. What was that game where it was a home game and he got the ball in his own half and he just
Bolton
bursted away. Was it Bolton?
I think was it Bolton or Burton? One of the two.
I can't remember, but the speed he went down that line with the ball and outpaced their defender. For me, that guy's got pace.
But he's running from deep, Steve. And I think what DJ's saying is that you need that pace when your attacker is on the shoulder of the defender, causing them to think, "Oh shit! If I lose him, he's gone." And that's not where Mothersill plays. It's not where Fevs plays. It's not where Diamond plays. They're all ball carriers. And we've obviously had to have a shift in how we play this season because we have lost Tanto. And it's just, you've all said, it's just not clicking as it stands. No, we're not scoring enough goals. We've scored 15 goals this season in 10 games. Not a bad return, but we've conceded 13. So we need that gap to be more than a goal difference of +2, basically.
Yeah, it's not rocket science, this, is it? We start scoring more goals, we're winning every game.
Yeah.
We've only conceded 2 in the last 3 games. So 2 extra goals, and we'd have 9 points for those 3 games. But
Before we move on to when it all went shits up, can we talk about the Anderson chance off the corner, where it was a short corner and Anderson sort of came out, sort of like, I don't know, it was about 10 yards out when he hit it on the volley. Good save from their goalkeeper.
We've already done that, Dan. That was Steve like 5 minutes ago.
I don't like to say.
Fucking hell! I'm sorry.
Steve, it's fine. He must have fallen asleep.
It was that good. It needs to be said twice. It was
It was
that
a
good of
good
a
control
chance.
volley. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
It was straight at the keeper. That's what I basically said.
yeah. And then obviously after that, then Reading have made 3 substitutions. It looked like Challer was going to make our substitutions first, but like you say, they sort of held off. Reading made theirs, and sort of like that sort of wildly. Is it Matt Ritchie that came on for them?
Oh, did he play the pass? Did he?
He's the one that did the off with the inside of his foot or the outside of his foot pass for Malado to score. So it was Matt Ritchie of Newcastle and Pompey fame that got the assist for the goal.
Should we just talk about that goal super quickly, because I think Dave did allude to it in his post match that when Ethan realised that he wasn't going to get to that ball, he made the wrong decision and he went to the ball rather than staying with Jack Marriott. If he stayed with Jack Marriott, that guy, Matt Ritchie, who you say did the assist, I believe, in the end, he wouldn't have scored from there. So, but it's just these split second, and you can't blame Ethan for doing that because he's literally got half a second to make up his mind. Am I going towards him with the ball or am I staying in the centre? You can see he pointed to Osborne, who was running back as quickly as his little legs could get him back. But he just didn't get back in time, did he? So
no, I thought it was a good goal because there was a little bit of build-up play beforehand. They managed to create a bit of space by sucking out, Bailey and Norwood to come and try and help with that little melee that was happening sort of just a bit further up, and then found the space, some quick one-touch passing, and they were in, and it was a good shot in the end. Was
it Charlie Savage who did the long ball out onto the right?
Yes, I think so.
That was a hell of a pass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just completely sliced us open, didn't it?
Yeah, they did. And that was their best opportunity of the game and the score from it. And I suppose that's the difference. We're having more opportunities and not scoring.
But that is also where teams have identified our weakness, because they played the whole game attempting to get in behind that side, basically, whether it was down the line or whether it was crossfield balls.
And Cardiff did the same, didn't they?
Did the same. Yeah. So that is the problem you have with the back three. And it's well known, isn't it, that the space is behind the wing backs, especially later on in a game as well. Well, when the wing backs are tiring.
So let's be honest. If you're an opposition manager, you don't have to do much homework. You're going, right, lads. You know, all that matters if you're still in this game at half time. We're in this game at half time. They will tire in the second half. Between 70 and 80 minutes is our time. You know, I'll make some substitutions. I'll freshen it up. Just keep in that game till then, and we'll get an opportunity. And it's what's, you know, that's what keeps on happening.
Yeah, and I mean, Dan Culver, you did say earlier that if the games had finished at halftime, we'd be top of the table.
Yeah,
Dave said himself, we've played 10 games, we've led in 9 of them. The only one that we didn't lead in was Plymouth, and we lost that 4-2. Yeah. And we dropped 11 points from a winning position this season, which is just not good enough. And interestingly, that they've got a target, haven't they, to win 80% of the games that they are leading in. So if we score the first goal, our target is to win 80% of those games. And as he said, we're absolutely nowhere near that at the moment. And that's got to.
So 4 out of 5 games they should be winning.
Yeah,
if they're
nowhere near that.
Yeah.
And that's the difference between 7th and 1st, isn't it, in the league table?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, I know that if we look at the league table, we may as well have a quick squiz at that. So yeah, we are 7th, 16 points, just behind, 2 points behind Wimbledon, 3 behind Huddersfield. So we've got a chance to reign in Huddersfield, I guess, next weekend. But although we are only 2 points off the playoffs, I'm looking at 1.6 points per game, which isn't going to get us into the playoffs, unfortunately. So something needs to give. And I don't think we've even really played that many of the better teams in the division. A lot of the teams that we have played are sort of mid-table-ish. So Wickham, Rotherham, Reading, they're all in the bottom sort of 6. Leyton Orient, they're 17th. Plymouth 15th, Wigan 4th. I mean, we haven't. It's not like we've said, well, we played the top 6 already. We've not even done that. So
yeah, I look at that table and it's a if only table, isn't it? If only we didn't drop points against this team. And you look at it. I mean, I'm not saying that we should have maximum points, 30 points after 10 games or anything. But even if you just add on 4 points, which is basically 2 draws, which we should have won. That puts us on 20 points, sort of 4th, be 5th position. And you think that's not too bad. It's them little margins. I know we've dropped a lot of points from winning positions, but I'm not saying. I think we should have at least 4, if not 5 points more on that table. Put us on 20 or 21 points. I think that would be a true reflection of really where we should be. But
I know it's an old cliche, but it is still early on in the season. We've got a lot of time to go and make, those little minor changes that, let's be realistic, they are minor changes that are going to be made that will kick us into life. Just a little bit more clinicality and just not dropping off in the last 20 minutes and letting them have the entirety of the pitch. As soon as them two get sorted, I think we're in business.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and like I said, I looked at obviously this game, Reading. We obviously got Huddersfield next week, then Blackpool, and then Exeter. And you sort of looked at them, and in my head, I thought that's should be 9 points really from out of 12. Win 3, except to lose 1. If you get draw out of that one, like Huddersfield away, we're laughing. We really need to get something to work from Huddersfield away now. Unfortunately, we can't. I don't think we can afford to let drop points. Too much. Draw would be brilliant, but then it sort of like rolls. You got 2 home games after that, Blackpool and Exeter, which are both struggling at the bottom end of the table, and we both have to 2 games then have to be won.
And from a positive point of view, we have got a couple of left wing backs coming back as well. So Adoon and Dodgson, they're both coming back. Hoskinen, I believe, is not too far away as well.
October, isn't it? I think they said middle of October or just after. Yeah.
Mother Silly obviously is a back injury, isn't it? So I don't know how long he's going to be out for, but it did look from what Dave said, he reckoned he should be back for the Huddersfield game. So we'll see.
Have you also not got another international window next week or the week after where we'll probably lose Brecky as well for another week?
Yeah, that's coming up.
Yeah, we do. You're right. Yeah, there's World Cup qualifiers, is it?
I think so, yeah. I thought there's, like I say, at the beginning of October, there's another international break window. So obviously, like you say, that might then give the opportunity for Lowe for his sort of rotation of getting in there.
Yeah. Do you think it works though with Lowe and Wotton up front? I'm not so sure.
Not so far. No, definitely not.
Well, it's an opportunity then for maybe someone like Malik or Fevs to play up alongside him then and to sort of give that pace flick on. So I did see, like I said, there was a couple of good times where on Saturday where Woods flicked it on. I think one where Jack Diamond nearly got to the run onto it and run past him. But yeah, these opportunities there.
I think the only reason or the only time that is going to work is if we can get lots and lots of crosses into the box from the wing backs. But what you're not going to get is a decent press because although Wotton is great at pressing, Lowe just doesn't seem to be mobile enough for me to do that role. So that's going to give them enough time at the back to get the ball into midfield, I'd have thought. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, so still, I say it's not doom and gloom. It's not the end of the world. It's like I say, with 10 games in, 40. How many? I haven't finished it. 46 game season, isn't it? So, it's still a long, long way to go. And like you say, we're not brilliant, but we're not, we're not poor. I think, like I said, there's one bad performance for me, which is the Plymouth away. Apart from that, it's just been very, very frustrating because, like I said, we're just so close to.
It's fixable, isn't it? It's
Oh,
fixable.
massively.
Yeah, and they will. They'll be working on it all week, and like I say, it will click. It will click sooner or later, and hopefully we'll let's hope it's on Saturday. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Against Huddersfield.
Well, it's what sod's law is that Huddersfield will be one of them games where Huddersfield are completely the better team, and we'll end up pinching a goal for an equaliser or a win in the 80th minute, and then we'll defend our lives out.
I'll take it.
Yeah, it'll be one of them performances. It'll be complete opposite. We'll do what other teams have done to us. At Huddersfield, it wouldn't surprise me at all. But
it does seem like a long time since we've done that, like really been massively outplayed and then nicked a winner. Generally speaking, when we lost last season, like be Birmingham's and what have you, we were outplayed and we lost the game. I can't remember the last time we actually did do what you just said there, Dan.
Snatch and grab, sort of.
Yeah.
I'll take that. To be honest, I'm quite happy to defend with our lives. Ben has the game of his life, and we nick a goal.
Speaking of which, great save he made on the 57th minute, tipped over a close range header, and communication was brilliant. His starting position was brilliant. He came out and got a few. Actually, speaking of goalkeepers, did we all think that there was a back pass in that second half? The guy sort of knocked it back to the keeper. Proper back pass.
Yeah.
I mean, as a goalkeeper, that sort of thing happens, and it doesn't come off like the inside of the boot or something. You can kind of just pick up and go, "Ref, that wasn't a back pass." You can make your case, and he'll probably not do anything because he's got more important things to worry about. But yeah, that was.
If it wasn't a back pass, it would be going in the back of the net.
Yeah.
How can it not be a back? Because if it was just
good point.
It was just luck. It went straight to the goalkeeper. No, if it was anything other than a back pass, it would be going rather out for a corner or straight in the back of the net. The fact that he went directly on, lovely pace for the goalkeeper to get it as well. It was a complete deliberate.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing I was thinking at the time was it was a pretty good back pass. It was like a volley, wasn't it? Sort of coming over the top of his head, and he sort of managed to cushion volley it back to his.
That's what I mean. He controlled.
Because it's a hard back pass doesn't not make it a back pass. There we go.
A bit of a weird one, but no, like I say, we roll on, and like I say, it's Saturday games now. Like I say, lots of time on the training ground. Yeah, like I say, we just we're seventh in League One. It's not doom and gloom, and we've not kicked on yet. We haven't found our mojo. Nothing to worry about.
One last thing from me. Has anybody here, I think Steve, you have done because you recommended it, listened to a podcast which had, what's the guy's name? Is it Richard McKie?
Oh, Matt, is it Matt McKie?
McKie.
Yeah, Matt
McKie, who's come in to do some sort of commercial sort of stuff with the club to sort of try and boost our sort of profile, I guess. Very, very, very good podcast. Have a listen to it. American.
You listened to it, Jimmy, now, yeah.
I've listened to it today. I was doing some painting today.
It was quite interesting, wasn't it? The point when he was talking about Manchester United putting kids' prices up to £66.
Yeah,
He said he went into Simon Wilson's office and he said, "Do you know what we should do, Simon?" And then before he had a chance to say it, Simon went, "What? Reduce the kids' tickets to 66p?"
Yeah. I think what he was doing was that I think that had happened already. So this guy hadn't been in the club yet, but he says that's the sort of thing that we should be looking to do. That when one of our noisy neighbours does something like that, we basically do the exact opposite. Say, look, come to us because we're not going to rip your kids off £66 for a kid's ticket.
Like I say, so it is a really good listen. What I'll do is obviously I'll put the links for that podcast in our show notes or description so people can log on to that. So yeah, there's been a few, haven't there, this week that have been quite interesting. There was another one with Dave Jones, ex-county manager, as well, which was a good listen to. So yeah, there's County are getting out there, and obviously there's another one being lined up with the owner Mark Stott for next week. I believe that comes out with the Peterborough chairman on his podcast. So that'll be quite an interesting listen as well. And if it's out before Wednesday, I'm sure the guys on the Wednesday show will obviously talk about that. But yeah, no, there's some really good. County are getting a lot of doing all the right things off the pitch at the moment. They get some stuff wrong. They're not perfect, but we're getting a lot of interest, and there's a lot of interesting bits and bobs to listen and watch and read up about.
Yeah, agreed. Well, I think that's a good place to leave it, guys. So yeah, as Dan's just alluded to, tune in to the guys for the main podcast on Wednesday, which is 8:00 live. You can watch on YouTube. And then we'll be back recording next Sunday. Fingers crossed for 3 points at Huddersfield. Cheers, guys. See you then.
Yeah. Bye.
Cheers.